Good morning. I hope you're all well this morning. It's currently 7:45 Celtic Park time. I thought I can't do a video at this time of day. I have other stuff that I need to get on with today. So we're here. We're early. I hope it finds you well today. And it's how are you feeling this morning? No, really. How are you really feeling? Because following Celtic could sometimes be a bit of a struggle. Although we're doing fantastic, we're okay in the league and such like. European football could be doing better. When it comes to the AGM this week, well, there's lots to talk about with that. There's lots to talk about this morning. Wilfred Nancy, the Celtic board, and even Lennon Miller. Yeah, Lennon Miller to Celtic has reared its face again. The fact that he's only played 5 games since his move in the summer. Yes, a young player whose dad said, look, he wants to play first team football. He's not going to come to Celtic because he wants to play every week. And he's only played 5 games. There's been a rumour going around that he could switch to Celtic. I don't see how or why he would want to switch to Celtic. I don't think that the realistic chance of Celtic getting him on loan. Why would they want him on loan after all? Our midfield seems to be pretty packed out with players. But Miller Senior took to gambling.com, a bizarre website to maybe talk to you about your son's future, but there we go. It's a bit of a gamble, everything, isn't it, really? If you are into gambling, make sure you click the first link that's in the description of this video, where you can make money with gambling. Anyway, it's never be settled. There's always a rumour. If you're a good player, you're in the public eye, there's always going to be rumours, Miller Senior said about Lennon Miller. And nice for him to finally somewhere where he's settled into. He enjoys training, he enjoys the players, he enjoys the place itself. As for its development, going abroad is a totally different environment. He's got to buy into that. He's done that so far, but it's hard to deal when you've got family miles away. You want the best for your child. So yes, it was hard losing him, but you want the best for him and to make sure that he's doing well. That was the best thing about this move, in my opinion, was to move his career forward. That's the end of the conversation, because I don't think that he has really moved his career forward. What he has done is taken a big chance. And I think that every young player should move abroad, to be honest, because I think that they will get more... They will learn more in their football. They'll learn more about themselves. Every young person should go abroad. Every young person should fuck off for a year. At the age of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Just get it out of their system. It's the best thing that anybody could do, trust me. But anyway, let's move on to the Celtic board. The Fans Collective have had a little bit of more information going out about certain members of the board. First up was, it wasn't first actually, but Sharon Brown. We'll talk about her. In December 2016, as Sharon Brown joined Celtic board, the club had seemingly turned a corner under Brendan Rodgers. Many hoped that this would lay the foundations for the team ready to take the next step in Europe. But 9 years on, Celtic has stalled on and off the park. As the chair of the Audit and Risk Committee, her tenure has coincided with repeated European setbacks and failure to modernise our financial and football strategy. She previously served as senior audit and non-executive positions within the business that went on to face serious governance and financial difficulties, experiences that arguably draw attention to the quality and oversight she provides. It's difficult to see how this reflects the modern and responsible leadership the club requires. As she enters the period where no non-executive should still be considered independent, the conclusion is unavoidable. Sharon, your time at Celtic is expired. Brian Wilson, he's been at Celtic since 2005. His time is expired. Yes, the old... He is seen sort of, he's old Labour type of guy, isn't he? He's well expired as far as I'm concerned. Tom Allison joined Celtic in 2001 when Tom Boyd was still the captain. Think about that for a second. Tom Boyd captain. Tom Boyd, who now sits up in the director's box now and again. Nothing against Tom, I like him as a guy. Tom Boyd's a fantastic lad, actually. Been at many funerals that Tom Boyd's attended over the years. Back in the deep dark doldrums of Fife, because Tom has a lot of family in Fife. But anyway, Tom Allison is a Talking about Tom Boyd, by the way, not Tom Allison. Tom, your time at Celtic has expired also. It's okay wanting rid of all these people at one go, but I think it's all about timing, and timing wouldn't be right for it to happen right now. And I don't think it will happen on Friday, unfortunately. Love me, hate me, but it's just a reality check. I don't think that any of them will be not in their positions come Friday afternoon. Just a thought as you have your breakfast this morning. Anyway, Wilfred Nancy to Celtic. What the hell is going on there? We all know that the headlines that went out by the Daily Record, sneaked out by Celtic to their favourite reporter. And he was the number one man. He was wanting there. But Wilfred Nancy has 3 non-negotiables for Celtic as the next boss. Frontrunner retains unshakable stance, was the headline put out by Mark Perry, also the person who leaked the story about him basically being offered the job. The Frenchman is the leading candidate, despite the club confirming Martin O'Neill will remain an interim charge. Let's get into them. Wilfred Nancy, does he want total control of the football department and ultimately football transfers? Does he want to get his own players in? Yes, of course he does. Does he want to come to Celtic and be told by a certain person that it's still questionable, the players that he's brought into Celtic so far? Paul Tisdale, what has he done? If it is a Paul Tisdale signing, and everybody say, look, it's Paul Tisdale, know him. Who knew Ange Postecoglou? It wasn't any of the Celtic board. There had to be someone within the club that are doing their job and picking out managers that they think would be a certain fit. I know it wasn't Paul Tisdale at the time, but it certainly wasn't frickin' Peter Lawwell or any of the Celtic staff that picked out Ange Postecoglou. That list had to come from someone within the club that's basically their job to identify potential future managers and then report to the board so they can take all the plaudits, because they do fuck all, really. But Wilfred Nancy, if he has, well, he has sincerely spoke to him, allegedly. We don't know for sure. There's nothing for sure now after yesterday's statement by Celtic, which basically just said that Martin O'Neill is here until we've come to a conclusion. Now, that conclusion, when you listen to the Martin O'Neill interview at full, Martin O'Neill was said, well, I don't know if we might see you, we might speak to you again, and we may not, as Martin O'Neill smiled, and the smile on his face when he said, you may not see me again, do you know, it's a man that knows that something's happening. That's a man that knows, or he's either that or he's just done a wee cheeky Neil Lennon. Remember when Neil Lennon let one rip in the studio? And he's like, did you get that on camera? I doubt it. Martin O'Neill's not that type, is he? Definitely not. But tell me what you think about the issue of transfers. Do you think that it is something as simple as that's holding up the negotiations? Or is it something as simple as the fact that you're trying to get a guy to come from the other end of the world where his family's got to move over? Does his family want to move over? He met his wife when he was working in Canada. She then moved to America. He was not sure, him and his wife were not sure about the move to Columbus Crew at the time. Could it be the fact that she's thinking, Scotland, Jesus God, it's even wetter and colder and damper than Canada, believe it or not. Canada gets real snow though, doesn't it? And although there has been snow this morning, a bit of breaking news coming out of Fife this morning. There's been snow. My brother sent me a video, 18th of November, and there's fucking snow. He's raging. Pure raging as he's getting away, going to the building sites in the dark, coming home in the dark. But that's a different story altogether, isn't it? So, Wilfred Nancy becoming the next Celtic manager, does he have reservations? Because you think about it, if he picks up the phone and he talks to Dermot Desmond, and as everyone else has done, as Ange Postecoglou did, and then he'll get, right, it's fine, our deal's done, perfect, sound, mate, right, crack, well, it'll be a good crack, honestly, mate, it'll be a good crack. And then Wilfred Nancy goes, so who have I speak to? Don't, it's Michael Nicholson, he's in charge of the club, he's fine, he's okay, he's a fucking walkover. Right, okay. Mais oui, Sure, Michael. I can't do a French accent, just saying. I want full control. It's going to sound like fucking. I want full control of the transfer policy. Michael Nicholson starts sweating, shaking uncontrollably. Problema? No? Problema? Michael? Oh, hello. And Michael's sitting there going, oh, fuck. He's one of the ones. He wants full control. I don't know what to say. It's as simple as that. Or it could be the fact that his backroom staff and his family are having a bit of reservations about jumping over so quick. You know, there's things that they need to tie up. And until those things are tied up, they can't come out and make an official announcement. You know, they're saying, right, yeah, we need to sort this out. We need to sort the kids out. Fuck me, these kids can't just, like, go into school on a Monday and say, oh, by the way, we're leaving. We're going to Scotland. Just like, what? Scotland? But anyway, could be something as simple as that. Or, as what has been suggested, it could be the fact that the guy has spoke to a Frenchman and he spoke to Nicholson. And that would put anybody off. It would, wouldn't it? Because you would ask them questions. I mean, we've all been in high level, well, some of us have been in high level interviews where, you know, that they ask what you can bring to the post. And then you ask the main objectives of the company. You ask about your role and what authority you've got in your role and what free range you've got. And in football terms, that comes down to something as simple as, well, I want to pick my players. I want to have, me and my team want to have full autonomy over the player that we want to bring to the club within the budget of Celtic Football Club, of course. And then that might have sent streams of rivers of sweat pouring down the back of the neck of Michael Nicholson as he on a Zoom call to Wilfred Nancy, not having a clue what to say, quickly trying to fucking text Paul Tisdale and get him listening into the call, trying to get him to join the Zoom call to explain the Celtic way, where the manager doesn't have full autonomy over the picking of the players, but he gets to sign them off as his own. He gets to say yes or no. And that's the big issue that we have. It's going to be an interesting week. Will Celtic get their man? I think that they still will get their man, whatever the hold-up may be. I think that Celtic will want him announced on Thursday afternoon. If there is no announcement on Thursday, the shit will hit the proverbial fan. And it's going to hit it at a rate of knots that it's going to sound like when you walk into Celtic Park for the AGM on Friday, the board members will think that there's been an invasion of the highest order, and they'll be making sure that there's security on the doors trying to keep people out. It's the one and only opportunity that we have on a yearly basis to put real pressure on this Celtic board. Now, whether you want them out or whether you're not, whether you're on the side of the fence where this is the biggest bunch of arseholes that have ever set foot in our club, which I think that they are, or are you in the camp where, look, the business has been doing well over the years, we're financially in a good place, how can you kick out the people that have run the business so well? There are two sides to any argument, but when it comes to the football side of the club, these charlatans need chased quicker than anything, due to the fact that they should have had a manager in this transfer, not a transfer, but the international break. They should have had someone in so that they could have been working with the players this week. When the players come back from international duty, they could have had someone in. And we all know the way that Celtic work. Things may be agreed in person between the manager and Dermot Desmond, but as soon as he gets off the phone, and what seems to have, we can only look back to Ange Postecoglou, who was promised the world at Celtic when he first walked in through the doors, spoke openly about his conversation with Dermot Desmond and the fact that his agent spoke to him beforehand, and then it was then passed on to Nicholson and everyone to conclude the financials of the deal. and everything else going forward. It wouldn't surprise me, not one iota, that if Nancy had actually went, well, wait a minute here, why did Rodgers walk? Would he have even got his agent to go and get me Rodgers' number so I could phone him just to see what these charlatans are like? You never know. If it does go down the same road as Eddie Howe, I tell you one thing, there's people at Celtic need to have a real good look at themselves, and that alone for me is enough for people to get their head chopped off at Celtic and hung, drawn and quartered at four ends of the stadium to never be seen at Celtic Park again. Because if this does go the way that our number one target is not on post by Friday, after such a hurrah about him being the number one, about him, Celtic making contact where it was alleged that they were not, Celtic seem to be playing a really funny game of let's play the media, let's play the fans, let's buy time. We've seen this story before, we've seen how it rocks up. If we do make the wrong decision and we end up going into a Ronnie Dyler type era, where yes, maybe Wilfred Nancy is the man to come in, maybe he does get the certain amount of players that he wants to start with, but then people don't like the football that's played, although I think it's going to be fantastic a football if it is the man. Or if, as we expect may happen, he decides to go, nah, you know what, I'm just going to stay where I am. There'll be some answers to be had on Friday, that's for sure. Anyway, I will be doing a video later on today as a little bit of an update. I am going to do a watch along for the Scotland game today, only because, hear my dear, I'm not going to start waving Scotland flags about and everything. Although it is my mother country, I've never watched international football for many a year because I think Scotland are wash. And let's face it, I can't wait to see Kieran Tierney just smash one past Kasper Schmeichel, because I think that Kasper Schmeichel shouldn't be the number one goalkeeper at Celtic, something that I've held and said since way before the Scottish Cup final beginning back in May. When Sinisalo came into the team, I thought that he was a fantastic goalkeeper. He's more energetic, athletic, gets the ball out quicker. Everything that Kasper Schmeichel hasn't been this year. I think that as the changing of the guard, as we are in a moment of historic, monumental differences at Celtic, differences that we haven't seen since the 1990s with the case of trying to get the board out, I think it's time for a new breed of player to come into the club. With the fear of losing said player because he's not getting enough game time, I think it's time for Kasper Schmeichel to hang up his boots at Celtic, and for Celtic to go down the route of young, athletic goalkeeper that wants to be at Celtic and wants to achieve things at Celtic and has the longevity. That's all I'm going to say on that one. On that note, make sure you join me later on this afternoon. I'll probably should we do a Scotland team announcement call-up thing like we usually do with the Celtic, an hour and a half before the game? Yeah, let's do that, and we'll do a Celtic news update at the same time. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.